من مامۆستا لوقمان لە دواناوەندی گارەی تێکەڵاو نمونەیی و هەروەها لە کۆمەڵگەی بارزی ناحکومی لە خولی هاوینەی ئەو ساڵ بەژاری دەکەین بۆ تەقویەکردنی قوتابیەکانمانی پۆلی 12 بەنسبەت کیمیا و بابەتانێک کە گرنگە ڕوون دەکرێتەوە و بەپێی پێویست بۆ قوتابیەکان وەڵامی پرسیارەکان دەدرێتەوە. ئێستا دەمانەوێت لە سەرەتای دەستپێکردنی پۆلی 12 بە گرنگترین بابەت دەست پێ بکەین کە دەبێت یەکەم بابەتی ئەم ساڵمان ئەویش لەژێر ناونیشانی compounds in aqueous solution. Compounds in aqueous solution in general, compounds are divided into two types. First, ionic compounds, and second, molecular compounds. Ionic compounds and molecular compounds. Molecular compounds, we leave it to another lesson, and in this lesson we can explain only the ionic compounds. What are ionic compounds? Ionic compounds consist of cation and anion. Cation and anion. When they dissolve in water, they produce cation and anion. What is happening? Ionic compounds dissociate in water when they dissolve in water. Include salts and hydroxide bases. It means ionic compounds in general include salts and hydroxide bases. We concentrate on the salts because related to our lesson. For example, we have NaCl as salt, CaCl2 is salt because they consist of cation and anion. Also, some ionic compounds consist of polyatomic ions, as you read in the grade 11, table 2, such as aluminium sulfate. Sulfate is the polyatomic ion. Aluminium is cation. Cation with anion becomes salt. Now, for solving questions, we need understanding to the dissociation. What is dissociation? Dissociation is the separation of ions when an ionic compound dissolves. Separation of ions when an ionic compound dissolves. What is general equation for dissociation? As you read in the grade 11, we have 5 types of reactions. One of them is the decomposition reaction. Dissociation equation, like decomposition reaction, is decomposed, an ionic compound decomposed to its cation and anion. As this manner, general form of the dissociation equation, ionic compound is written on the left and cation and anion is written on the right side of the equation. For example, NaCl, which is called table salt, when it dissolves in water, produce Na positive and Cl negative. It means produce sodium cation and chloride anion. It is very important when you write equations, chemical equations, you balance equations, because the questions or ministerial questions related to the balanced chemical equation. Until here, we explain the definition of dissociation, examples of the ionic compounds, I repeat them, examples of ionic compounds NaCl, CaCl2, aluminium sulfate, etc. What is dissociation? Dissociation is the separation of ions when an ionic compound dissolves. Separation of ions when an ionic compound dissolves. What are questions in the ministerial which are very important? There are 5 types of questions. They are very important in the ministerial examination. First, related to the definition. First type of question related to the definition. One, for example, the separation of ions when an ionic compound dissolves is called what? It's called ionization, dissociation, oxidation, or precipitation. If you understood the dissociation definition, you can answer this question by the definition, only by understanding the definition. Why? Because dissociation is the separation of ion. Separation of ion. The separation of ion is called dissociation. So only B is correct. Only B is correct. This A, ionization related to molecular compounds, oxidation related to another reactions that are present in the chapter 8. Also, precipitation reaction are present in the chapter 2 and chapter 7. So they are different. Only this definition convenient with the dissociation only. So dissociation is correct. Another type of question is related to the examples of ionic compounds. You must learn examples of ionic compounds. What include? They include salts and hydroxide bases. Salts and hydroxide bases you will read in the chapter 3 in detail. For example, this question came from the ministerial question: which of the following is an ionic compound and dissociate in water? Which of the following is an ionic compound and dissociate in water? Ionic compound consists of cation and anion. Cation and anion include salts and hydroxide. Here, there is no hydroxide. Which of them is an ionic compound? This is sugar. This is benzene. This is acid. Only NaCl is an ionic compound. So it is salt. So it is correct answer is C. C is the correct answer. NaCl is an ionic compound. Third type of important question is related to the equation, related to the dissociation equation. For example, one of the ministerial question on 215 come, which of the following is the right side of the dissociation equation of the aluminum nitrate? These are multiple choice. To solve this question, you must learn writing the dissociation equation for all ionic compounds. First, we write the dissociation equation for aluminum nitrate. Aluminum nitrate, Al, NO3, Al2, NO3 by 3, will dissociate by water to aluminum, positive 3, and NO3, negative 1, aqueous, aqueous. For balancing, you have 2 atoms of aluminum. Here 1, put 2 atoms in the left and 2 atoms on the right. Also, you have 3 nitrate ion, here 1. Put 3 in front of nitrate to balance the equation. Now you compare your right side, your equation, with the multiple choice. First, aluminum positive 3, aluminum is positive 1. Aluminum positive 3, here 3 and O3 minus 3. Minus 3 is not convenient with the minus 1. Here, aluminum positive 3 and nitrate negative 1. It is correct. Also, you have 2 aluminum ion and 3 nitrate ion. Here also 2 aluminum ion and 3 nitrate ion. So C is correct. C is correct. It means you must write the balanced chemical equation for solution of this type, of this manner of the questions. Another type of question, mole of solute is given and mole of ions are unknown. Mole of solute is given and mole of ions are unknown. In this case, you must write balanced chemical equation in the first, and second, you must use mole of ion. This rule, mole of ion is equal to the mole of compound times coefficient of the ion. For solution, you must write first the balanced dissociation equation, and first you must use this rule, mole of ion is equal to mole of compound times coefficient of the ion. This question is come in the 220. How many moles of ions are produced when 0.15 mole of sodium sulfate is dissolved? These are, choose. First, you must write the balanced chemical equation. Also, you must learn how to write the formula of the salts, such as sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate, Na3PO4. It dissociates with H2O to 3Na positive and PO4 negative 3, aqueous. Now we have 0.15 mole of sodium sulfate. Put 0.15 mole. Here, 3 times 0.15, 3 times 0.15, 3 times 0.15. And here, 0.15. How many moles of ions are produced? Here, 3 times 0.15 becomes 0.45 and plus 0.15 finally becomes 0.16. Thus, which of them is correct? The total number of ions that are produced in this question is equal to 0.16. So 0.60 is correct. B is correct. B is correct. The answer is convenient with B. The last type of important questions is mole of ion is given and mole of solute is unknown. Mole of solute is given and mole of ion is given and mole of solute is unknown. Also for solving question, you must write first balanced chemical equation and then put X instead of the mole of solute, then find the value of X. For example, this question, ministerial question, how many mole of calcium chloride will dissolve to produce 0.6 mole of chloride ion? 0.6 mole of chloride ion. These are multiple choice. First, we must write, for solution, we must write the balanced chemical equation. Here, we can write balanced chemical equation for this question. For how many mole of calcium chloride will dissolve? Calcium chloride CaClO3 by 2 dissolve to produce calcium cation and chloride anion. This is balanced chemical equation. This is balanced chemical equation. First, you must write the balanced chemical equation. And then put X instead of the mole of the solute. This is X, and this is become X, and this is becomes 2X. 2X chloride ion in the question is given 0.6 mole. 2X is equal 0.6 mole. So we relate 2X equal to 0.6 mole of chloride ion divided by 2, divided by 2. This is cancel. X equal to 0.3 mole. 0.3 mole. 0.3 mole is convenient with D. With D. This is correct. This is the correct answer. That is enough to this lesson, and we can explain more and more in the next lesson. And any question you have, I can answer you. Thank you for listening. With a nice day.